You want to know how pathetic this year's D23 was? I forgot it even happened until a few hours ago. That's why I didn't post this video yesterday, because I completely forgot this thing even happened. But yeah, it did, and it was about as bad as you would expect. Now, we didn't get nearly as many trailers as we did last year, or the year before, the first time I did this, because I didn't do one for D23 last year. I don't remember why I didn't, but it really doesn't matter, because all the shit they promoted during that sucked ass anyway, so I guess it wasn't even worth it. And honestly, this one's probably going to be pretty short because, again, there isn't that much in terms of trailers or even footage to go over. But there are plenty of things to talk about, so let's just jump right into it. First thing I'm going to briefly mention, and I do mean briefly here, is the announcement of the production of Perry Johnson and the Woke Being Season 2. Because I refuse to call it what they want me to call it, because it ain't Percy Jackson. This is fake Percy Jackson. And it was mainly a recap of the pathetic first season. It showed a close-up of a horse, which is for the chariot race, a close-up of a ship that I guess is supposed to be the Andromeda, and then it had a close-up of Percy. And one thing I will comment on is the fact that I have already stated several times that one problem with this show, well, the show itself is a problem. Everything in it is a problem. But one of the biggest things, like, behind the scenes that's going to be a problem is that the actors are going to age out of these roles from how slow this production is. And even, like, and that shows in this trailer. Walker Scobell looks and sounds so fucking old. He does not look or sound like he's 13. He sounds like he's around the age Lerman was when he was in The Lightning Thief. He was 17 when that movie was shot. And Scobell looks and sounds about the same. And I'm going to tell you this, it's a lot easier for a 21-year-old to play a 17-year-old than it is for an 18-year-old to play a 14-year-old. Because that's about where Scobell's shaping up to be by the time Season 3 finally starts production, if they even get that far. Because, again, even people who defended the show kind of acknowledged, like, yeah, this might not get past Season 2, because the ratings just shot down. And I already did a video exposing that the ratings that Disney tried to put out were physically not possible. So, there you go. But again, he just looks and sounds so old at this point. He doesn't look or sound like he's 13. So that's going to be a problem for them in the long run. And hell, he was supposed to be Kidpool in Deadpool and Wolverine, but he aged out of the role before it was shot. That's basically going to be the same problem with this show, assuming it keeps going. But again, there's so little hype around this fucking teaser that there was so much hype when the first season was announced. This one, basically nothing, which is pretty funny and pretty evident of how little of a shit people gave about this show after Season 1 wrapped. Now, I'm not going to talk about any of the Marvel stuff. Actually, you know what, I'll get to that. First thing you guys probably want me to talk about, in terms of the actual trailers, is Snow White. And good God, this looks awful. Again, it's okay, first off, the Seven Dwarves being fully CGI, what moron came up with this idea? Those things look fucking hideous. And not only that, everything in this trailer just seems like it's just trying to win back people it lost. And it was shown with the cringy-ass trailer reactions online, where it seemed like everybody was shilling for it, because all they did was show stuff from the animated one. The dwarves walking across the log, whistling their song, Snow White briefly singing a song from the animated one, showing the evil queen, saying her famous line, and seeing Snow White interact with animals. That's all we got from this trailer, really. Again, it just seems like fake advertising to try to win back the people it pissed off. Well, it didn't work for me, and I'm assuming it didn't work for people who aren't the dumbass shills who react to trailers and pretend every trailer is amazing. So, like I said, I'm not going to talk about any of the Marvel stuff, because, one, I already did a video on a lot of the movies that are upcoming, and two, they didn't really show anything. There was one thing that they did show, a trailer that they did release, so that is the only thing I'll be talking about, and it's the Agatha show. Now, I have been on record, hell, even in the Marvel video I just did, that this could be good, but I really don't have any interest in this, because this has no reason to exist. And the trailer basically justified every single thing I've ever said about this show. It has no reason to exist. I fail to see how this connects to the larger MCU unless this is setting up for the Scarlet Witch solo movie. That's the only thing I can really think of. Or maybe it's setting up for Doctor Strange 3, who knows. And the show itself, as a standalone, maybe it could be fine. I mean, it had some jokes that were not very funny, but I don't know. I'm still willing to give it a shot. Hell, this has more potential than She-Hulk did, so yay. Then, something else you guys probably really want me to talk about, well, it's probably Skeleton Crew, but I'll get to that next. After I talk about this, it's a full trailer for Mufasa the Lion King. I did an entire video on the teaser trailer. Nobody wants this movie, and once again, they're fucking with the lore. Because now, Mufasa is an adopted brother of Scar. Not Scar being adopted brother of Mufasa, but Mufasa being adopted by Scar's family. And which begs the question, how is he in line for the throne? Like, at all? And all this does is make Scar the protagonist of the original Lion King. Oh, well, the shitty remake original, but you know what I mean. Because he's entirely in the right. He had the right to the throne, and Mufasa, I'm guessing they're going to do something in the movie to make Scar look like the villain, but in terms of the broad scope, it seems like Scar is absolutely right, and I guess the movie is about some war with white lions, and maybe that's why and it seems like that's why Mufasa becomes the king, because maybe he ends the war with these white lions. I don't know. Movie's gonna suck anyway, although I will say one thing, it seems like they're trying more with the expressions on the lions than they did with the original. They're trying to make them a bit more expressive, so at least they listened to one criticism from the last movie. Really? We got this, but Aladdin 2 is still in development hell? Fucking hate you, Disney. So next up is Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Or, it's not really Star Wars. Nothing that comes out of Disney is actually Star Wars. And it's about a bunch of kids doing around. It seems like this is a Star Wars remake of Goonies. And then they throw Jude Law's ass in there as a Jedi. I feel so bad for that poor bastard being stuck in so many shit movies and shows now. He got to be in the MCU in Captain Marvel. He got to be in Harry Potter in the Fantastic Beasts sequels. And he got to be in Star Wars in a show that nobody gives a fuck about. This guy needs to hire a better agent. Actually, no, he doesn't hire better agents. He's getting in all the good films, or he's getting in all the big franchises, but ugh. Then there was another trailer from Moana 2. I have no idea what the fuck's going on here, and honestly, I couldn't be less interested. I wasn't the biggest fan of the first Moana, and I don't think I'll like this very much. Now we'll talk about the announcements. Technically, there was a teaser for the Lilo & Stitch live-action remake and Toy Story 5, but there was really nothing to them. I will say that when it comes to the Lilo & Stitch remake, Stitch translated to live action way better than I thought he would. The effect is actually pretty good. Now, will that maintain throughout the entire film? Knowing Disney, probably not. But he looked actually pretty real. It was actually some damn good CGI. Gee, I wonder what happened. Maybe they actually gave their animator some time to work on it. What a novel idea. Or maybe they just hired better effects artists for this, I don't know. And there's Toy Story 5. Honestly, I couldn't be less interested. I didn't like the fourth one at all, and we don't need more Toy Story movies. Disney just thinks we do because they want more money. Same thing, we don't really need a Shrek 5, but whatever. Incredibles 3 was announced, something that's been rumored to be in the works for a while, especially after the second one became the highest grossing animated film until Frozen 2, and now Inside Out 2 has beaten that as well. It could be good. Again, I didn't like Incredibles 2, but the first one is one of my favorite animated films of all time. So, I'll give it a shot. There was a little bit of announcements for Tron Ares, which is something I'm kind of looking forward to. Jared Leto's only put in one good performance that I've ever seen, or actually two, Haunted Mansion and, what was it called? Morbius. Because he put in a decent performance in Morbius. Let's be real here. And it's also apparently got Evan Peters, who was Quicksilver in the X-Men films and in WandaVision, so maybe it won't be that bad. And Jeff Bridges is back, and Jeff Bridges is always great. And I really love Tron Legacy. I don't really like the first one. It's fine, but it's just kind of boring. The second one is legitimately great. I love Tron Legacy, so I'm hoping this kind of gets the same vibe and everything. Next up is a title reveal for Avatar 3, which is Fire and Ice, or Fire and Ash. This'll suck ass, let's move on. And then there's a sequel to Freaky Friday called Freakier Friday. A concept like this, I don't understand how you do twice. Because at this point, if you're doing the exact same concept as the original film, they should know how to fix the problem by this point. It's the same problem I had with Hangover 2. It was the exact same fucking thing, so you'd think they would have figured this garbage out by now. Now, I'm sure there were other announcements and everything. Like, there was some announcements for the Marvel stuff, but they didn't really... Or, I guess they apparently showed footage at D23, but you think I'm really gonna... If they live-streamed this, you really think I'm gonna take time out of my life to watch that live-stream? No. And they didn't release any trailers for Fantastic Four or Thunderbolts or anything. And we already have trailers for Captain America 4, so they didn't release anything about that. So, and they didn't release anything about Blade either, so... There you go. Assuming because they just had Comic-Con. They just did all those announcements, like I said. And I already did a video on those. So you can go, if you want to know my thoughts on Captain America 4, Thunderbolts, Blade, Fantastic Four, and the new Avengers movies that are coming out, you can just go watch that video. I did that a couple weeks ago. But yeah, most of this stuff is shaping up to be pretty bad. Big shock. I don't trust Disney to make good movies anymore. The only company that's associated with Disney that I trust still is Marvel, and it seems like Kevin Feige is done with Disney's bullshit. They've been making good films since Endgame. People say that everything after Endgame has been garbage, and no, it hasn't. The 2021 films, I liked all of them. 2022... Love and Thunder was but the other two were pretty good. And then 2023, Ant-Man I legitimately liked, Guardians was great, and the Marvels kind of sucked. But this year they also had Deadpool and Wolverine. And also this year, it seems like Feige has fired most of the stupid woke activists that worked at the company. So, because I guess he finally realized that having those people that made the Marvels and She-Hulk around made some of the shittiest content they've ever had was a bad idea. Who'd have thunk? It seems like he's telling Disney to fuck off. It's like, you can reap some profits from the movies we make, but we're not dealing with your shit. Oh, and by the way, apparently Disney Plus finally made a profit this month for the first time ever, purely because people wanted to go watch the original Inside Out and Deadpool movies after the sequels came out. That's pretty funny. The only reason people want to watch their subscribe to their bullshit streaming service is so that they can watch some movies for sequels that just came out. That's it. And then I read the entire article. That was pretty much the only reason why they turned a profit this month. Not for any of their original streaming content, but for stuff that was made by people that actually know what they're doing and continue to know what they're doing and are shooting down Disney's bullshit narrative. That's hilarious to me. So that's all I got. What do you guys think of this? I'm assuming pretty much everybody who subscribed to this channel is going to hate most of this stuff like I will. But leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.